Hello, seventh grade. Today is October 23rd, and we are going to do your class recap. I have Kamari with me, and he's going to help answer some questions that you all may have or have needed to learn today. So I'm going to start with, sir, what did we talk about in class today?
So today we were talking about the beginning of modern science and how, like, the Europeans, they were trying to explain their influence on other parts of the world, and they were expanding other continents, like North America, South America, Central America, and so on. So today we're kind of going back to Europe, and we're talking about the modern science, so telescopes, geocentric, and stuff like that.
Okay.
Speaking of geocentric is like the centered around the Earth, and most Europeans thought that Earth was the center of the universe and everything revolved around it. And this was due to because when you saw the sun rising, then you saw it going down, and then you saw your moon, and then you saw like the sky. It was kind of moving across the sky slowly. So people just automatically saying, "Oh, we're the center of the universe," but this isn't actually right. So we had two people, a Polish scientist named Nicholas Copernicus.
Good.
And he was and Galileo Galilei, and they were both trying to prove that we're not the center of the universe. And this is kind of freaking the Europeans out because they didn't really know, like, okay, so if we're not the center, then what else is out there? So yeah, that's what we were learning about today.
Good. So do you think there's any vocabulary that we covered? Definitely geocentric. We talked about that in science as well. So give it to me one more time. What does geocentric mean?
Geocentric is like centered around the Earth. So, like, for example, I guess the moon would be geocentric around the Earth because it goes around it, and no, not really, because it's not in the center of the Earth, really.
Okay.
But my point, and then another word was heliocentric. This is what Galileo Galilei and Nicholas Copernicus.
Copernicus.
Yeah, Copernicus, and he was trying to prove that the heliocentric was sun-centered, that the Earth, not the sun was going around the Earth, but the Earth was going around the sun.
Good. Yep. So geocentric basically was kind of self-centered of us, or what is the word? Conceited of us to think that everything else revolved around us. But one of the ways we talked about, especially in science, was how this made sense was because we didn't see anything else moving on Earth. We never felt like we were moving, but we saw the sun and we saw it come and we saw it go. We saw the moon, we saw it come and we saw it go. And because we're assuming that we are the supreme beings as human beings, that we were the center of the universe. We were in charge. But there was a shift in the thinking, especially during this Renaissance, where people are starting to think a little differently about almost everything. And so then we started thinking about our place in the universe. And with inventions like the telescope, we're able to see a little bit more or a little more details of what actually is out there in outer space. And so Galileo talked about how there's so many stars out there, we can't even count them. So we're learning new things and we're observing the changes in the world from what we previously thought. So what do you think is the most important thing that somebody should have remembered today from class?
I think we need to remember geocentric, heliocentric, and I think we need to remember Renaissance. Now remember, Renaissance is like a new beginning. So for example, like an example would be the Harlem Renaissance. Not that this is a part of that study, but a Harlem Renaissance, where everything was getting new. And then remember that geocentric, it means centered around the Earth, and then heliocentric would mean